Welcome back to the international edition of the Useful Content Creation Show. Today we have with us content creator and founder at The Favorite Design, Maksym Donchenko.
Hey.
Broadcasting live from Relate Studios in Trinidad and Tobago, it's the Useful Content Creation Show with your host, Juma Bannister.
Hello and welcome to the Useful Content Creation Show. My name is Juma Bannister and I'm happy to be with you today. A special welcome to the Useful Content community. And I'm hoping that my internet holds out today. It seems to be doing some interesting things, but we're here and we're going to take it in stride because the show is live and we have some great things to cover today. Today is season 2, episode 11 of our show, and on this show we show Justin Simon some content love on his post about content audits, and we have some exclusive video content. Well, technically, it's not all that exclusive because I posted this today, but I found it was such a good piece of content that I want to play it back tonight on the show. And the topic of that piece of content that I created is Say Less. And today we're going to have a conversation with Maksym Donchenko, and that should be great. And we have the brand new segment that we've been running called Agree, Disagree. All right. So hello, everyone in the comments. Hi, Charlene. Good to see you. Good to see you. Good to see you saying hello. Hello. Good to see you, Charlene. Nice to see you dropping in. Don't forget to drop your hashtag UCC Live. Remember, we are the Useful Content community and we own the bulb emoji. Let me show you what that looks like. These are the UCC Essential. We throw up our bulbs every time we come in and we share our hashtag UCC Live in the comments as well. So let's look at what happened last week. So last week, Saturday, on the Caribbean edition of the Useful Content Creation Show, we had with us Kristen Alvarez. Now, Kristen is a 17-year-old amateur chef. And, oh, wait, hold on. I didn't play the weekly update graphic. Why come I didn't do that? Let's do that. Why not? All right, back to the story. So Kristen is an amateur chef and a food-based content creator on TikTok. And he's kind of getting the average of about 45,000 views per video. And one of his biggest videos had about 250,000 views. So, I want you to go on YouTube and check that interview out. We had a good discussion. And this is specifically for people who want to hear Caribbean accents because he's from my home country of Trinidad and Tobago. If you don't know where to get that content, you can go ahead and go to youtube.com. It's good to relate, and you'll see that content. All right, and we're still working hard on the putting together the content for the Relate Studios website, and I'm deliberately mentioning that tonight because the person who I have on is probably going to ask me about maybe. Yeah, we're doing the website. Hopefully, we'll finish it by the end of March. This week, I haven't had any chance to read any new books because I've been totally swamped with work, but I have been able to listen to a podcast from Jay Okunzo called Unthinkable. That's the name of the podcast. It's a really great podcast. You should check it out. Unthinkable from Jay Okunzo. All right, let's show Justin Simon some content love. All right, this is Justin Simon's content. He shared about having content audits. This video is very short, so I can play it. So let's hear what Justin has to say.
If you created one piece a week, you would now have 52 pieces of content that you can go update. And a lot of companies are putting out at least one piece of content a week in some way, shape, or form. And so I think, the ability to go back and say, I've already put a huge amount of thought, most likely, into the strategy of previous pieces of content. That strategy didn't go away. Those are the same people I want to create content for. And so how can I take that existing content and make it better and maximize the attention that's already there or the demand that's already there coming in for that particular piece of content?
Yeah, I found this was a very excellent video because he really focuses on not creating new content, but taking the content that you already have and trying to maximize it, see what works, what doesn't work, and really doing it, making it the best, giving it the best use that it could possibly get, the best use that you could possibly get out of it. And as a result of that, we want to show Justin. Oh no, well, Justin is UCC approved. All right, so let's see who's in the comments real quick. All right, hey, Stephen G. Pope, man, Stephen G. Pope, the G himself. Let me just see, saying, guys. So Maksym will know that Stephen said earlier that, you know, two of his favorite people are on the show tonight. So that's great. Good to see you, Stephen. All right, let's move on. What's the other segment? What's the new segment? Let me see. All right, good. Let's go into the other segment, which is just the exclusive video content. All right, so let's run the exclusive video content. Say less. I've had videos that I've made for LinkedIn, and then I would go back in and I would say, okay, this video is 3 minutes long. How can I bring this down to the seminal message? What is the core thing that I want to say in this message? And how can I edit this in order to communicate that in the shortest time possible? And then you start to cut out sentences that seem like they're the same. You start to adjust the intro to the thing to make it shorter, and you make all these different tweaks and changes and clips so that the content can fly like an arrow. You kind of like have to say, I'm shooting this one thing. This is the one point I'm going to make. And in video, that's what you want to do. You want to make one point, but you adjust it to make sure that is most relevant to the distribution platform. Yeah, and I made that video today that actually came out of I was on Clubhouse and in one of the rooms, the 7 Digital Marketing Trends at 7 with Tamara Monlouis. And there's a clip that came out of that. And I felt it was really important to share because of what it was. I'm going to chop that content up. I was talking for about an hour about the differences or the similarities between TikTok and LinkedIn. And I felt that, you know, it was important to share that one because it's important that we really be very focused with our content. Good stuff. All right, let me see who's in the... Hey, Allison, great to see you. Hashtag UCC Live and throwing up your bulbs. Nice to see you in the comments there, Allison. Good to have you on this evening. All right, let's get into the meat of the matter conversation with Max. Tonight we have with us all the way from Montreal, Canada, Webflow expert and the founder of the Favorite Design, web design and web development agency. Please put your bulbs up and help me welcome to the show, Maksym Donchenko.
Hi everybody. It's a pleasure to be here.
It's great to have you on, man. It's great to have you on. Welcome to the show, Sir Max. Welcome.
Thanks. And it's really great when you invited me. I'm like, oh, finally I'm gonna be on a live. But I was actually very stressed out to be on a live. It's like, how can you fix up all the mistakes you say? There's no editing, right?
Zero editing.
Yeah.
You had to roll with it, and you had to kind of get accustomed to do stuff. So Stephen is saying you do good work.
Oh,
right?
Thanks, Stephen.
Is Stephen a client?
Yeah, we worked on his website, and we worked also on a couple clients together.
Oh, nice. Yeah, Stephen is one of the creators on the platform who is actually giving people work. I had these two guys. Thanks, Stephen. I haven't worked for Stephen as yet. We're supposed to do something, but I am so swamped with work currently that we can't see a way until the end of March. But that's a different story. Yeah, Maksym is a great guy, man.
No, thanks a lot.
All right. All right. So tell the people who you are and what you're about, Maksym.
Yeah. So I initially wanted to be a game developer. I wanted to develop games. I wanted to make sure I made like the next Assassin's Creed when I was like in high school, when I was like 15 years old. So then at 15 years old, I started in 3D animation. Actually, I started modeling, and all of that is like after school is like YouTube and stuff like this. And I was just learning everything. And at one point, I think it was in 2017, had already a pretty good knowledge of programming and 3D animation. But then I get this ad of Ty Lopez in his garage, here in my garage, and with my new Lamborghinis here. And he introduced the idea of, like, I decided to watch that whole video, which is a 2-hour advertising on YouTube. So I decided to watch it all. And then he introduced this drop shipping, basically. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it out and I'm going to make some money. So then it required me to make a website, right? I never did a website in my life. Then I did a Shopify website. And then at that time I was 17 years old. Then I understood it's a whole thing. If you want to sell products online, you have to advertise it. So there's analytics. Then once you learn analytics, you have to then learn how to optimize your website to become better at generating conversions. So the thing is that at that point, when I built my first website, even though it was not successful, I broke even. I spent so much money on ads. But then at one point, I'm like, what I like is to build the website. So I'm like, I should actually build websites for other companies. But then I had I had to extrovert myself. I was like a huge introvert. So then it was so much trouble finding clients because I didn't know how to talk to them. I didn't even know who to talk. So then after like 2 years of trying, I finally started to get the ball rolling, and then started to get better in web design and then in web development. So then I decided just to specialize in that. And after about 2.5 years of freelancing, actually no 2 years of freelancing, I then decided to start working as a team. So I decided to assemble a team together to make sure that we can create websites that are all about generated conversions. There's so many websites out there, and they're just there just to be there, because companies nowadays, they say, oh, we just need a website. And I really thought that was just a waste of such a huge resource, which is your website, that can literally generate you either sales or collect emails or show like content. And I decided to make sure that when we create websites, it accomplishes a goal. And all the websites we do now, that's what it's aiming at, is to accomplish a specific goal.
Excellent. So that's it, guys. The show is over. You basically answered every question.
Yeah, that was a little interesting.
No, that's great. That's great. I didn't know Ty Lopez was responsible for kind of getting you. I hope you sent him a thank you note.
No, not yet. I saw like he went into cryptocurrency these days. It's been a long time. I haven't seen him.
Yeah, I don't know. He's Lamborghinis in the garage.
Yeah.
Good evening, Marsha. Thank you for jumping on and saying hello. And Stephen is saying he was heartbroken because I couldn't do the project. Don't worry, we'll link back up sometime. All right, so big question. What makes your content useful?
What makes my content useful? I feel like I go sometimes in depending of what I'm trying to achieve with my content. Sometimes you could say you have two types of audience. You have this, when you become more of an expert in one niche, it's like if you have one audience that is, first of all, people that are more beginners in the same niche. So you're basically making content that is helping those people start out and go through the troubles you went. So it's like helpful content for beginners. And there's another type of content that is primarily targeted on your clientele, the audience that is basically could generate you some projects. And this is way more, for example, in my case, let's say as an example, because I do websites, it would be, how can you improve conversions on your website that does already maybe $1 million per month of sales? So how can you improve this? So that's how I see my content, and that's how I divide it. So I divide it into groups, and it just try to bring as much value as I can with tips that technically somebody would not know, and that as soon as they know that tip, it would be like, oh, that's true, that's the puzzle that was missing. And that's what I'm trying always to bring in my content.
Right. That is excellent. Yeah, because I noticed that when I looked at your content, there's kind of like, there is a component of website technical advice, like how to do stuff. and there's a component of websites marketing
Mhm.
kind of focus. So how did you define, like, what's the balance in between the two, and which is the one that it gets more traction in your content?
Yeah. So usually the ones that are more specific in terms of like technical, they're very, for example, how can you speed up your website, and like you go into code and etc. This is more people that are, for example, beginners in this area, that's where it's getting the traction from. However, if it's, for example, marketing, it's getting the attention more of people that are already advanced in the company, and they then when they see the content, they're like, oh, this it's true. We didn't look at it this way. That's usually what I'm seeing. So marketing content is really attracting clients that are in the game for a long time already.
Yeah, definitely. And that would be the case because they are looking for something. They have a system and they're looking to probably improve it.
Exactly.
And so you giving them those things helps them improve the system. So you was freelancer for 2 years before starting your current company. So what made you decide to move from a freelancer to build a company?
It was lonely. Yeah. So like when you're a freelancer, first of all, it's like probably almost all the freelancers that stick with their craft, they probably go through this. It's like when at one point you're like, oh man, I can get clients. And then you're like, oh, well, now that I got like 1 client a month, I can get 3. And you don't have necessarily a limit in your head. You're like, I can do 5 if I want, because you're like, I'm so invincible. I got 5 clients. Obviously, I can do all of them in 1 month. So I took on 5 clients in a month. And then obviously it was very hard to deliver, and I was 1 person, and it was like a very tough month. After that point, I'm like, I love working on many projects because it's like this kind of this rush and this those different ideas and trying to improve the different projects. It's something I loved. And then I just thought, if I want to sustain this, I just need a team. And then from there, I decided to create a team.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, I like working in teams. The business in its current form has always been a partnership. I was on my own before, just like you. And I don't think I was lonely, but what I did realize is that we could go further if we like pool knowledge and pool resources and work on things. You know, it amplifies, it's exponential amplification of ability.
Yeah,
So it works.
absolutely. Yeah, true. And it's like I don't know what, like how you were like when you became a team, but it's what what I imagine is like when I'm gonna create those beautiful websites, I thought the best version of those websites can be only achieved if I assemble some talent together.
Right.
And I just thought about it, and I'm like, yeah, it just doesn't seem right. Like, yeah, I'm putting all my effort into creating a website, but at the end of the day, like, you're not perfect at anything, at everything. So you cannot be as perfect in copywriting as you're perfect in web design. So like, you're missing out on some pieces of puzzles. So this was something I think like it's crucial if you want to like perfect your craft.
Yeah. You do need to have people put their fingerprint on things in order for it to come out the way it's supposed to be, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, you're not an artist. You're producing things for clients. So, you know, an artist can be by themselves and just create art because it's subjective. But if it has to be objective, you need inputs. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, okay, I'm going to read for you a caption that you had describing your services when you were a freelancer. And let's see what that sounds like. So you said, and I quote, I am Maksym Donchenko, and I create interactive websites that excel clients' needs. I use web design to showcase the value of tech products. See my creations and what I can create for you. How would you rate that caption now?
Out of 10?
Out of 10,
yeah. I don't know. I would rate it like a 4 or 5.
Okay, so what has changed?
The only I think it's like there's a lot of problem in the marketing of that phrase. I feel it's like if you look at like let's say you look at like a young LinkedIn profile, and you look at their intro sentence in their just their description, and it's just very, very, very. For example, I can do anything. And I can basically like offer you the best quality of what I do. And it's like always like this. And this is cheesy. And I feel this is not professional. And I just feel like it's the I would really you should be self-aware and really try to find why are you actually better? Why are you good? So that's the thing I would answer in
Right.
this showcase kind of. Yeah.
Yeah, we do grow and develop. I mean, like I had some crazy headlines when I first came on the link, like
Mhm.
crazy stuff. Like looking back now, like why did I even have?
Yeah, the worst is like when you say like I can do, and then you name, I can do this,
Yeah.
and you have like 25 like different services. Like, can you really deliver on all of them with great quality? I don't think so.
Yeah. We have a thing in Trinidad and Tobago. People say specialized in, and then they go on to list 10 things. It's like that's not a specialization if you're listing 10 things.
Yeah, and one thing was like when I was building the agency, it was to specialize, and it was like the first things first. When like the agency was being built, first of all, I was reading through many books to find out, okay, so how should I build the agency from the start, so that I go off from a on a good start. And basically the first step was to specialize. And if you don't specialize, you seem so off. Like, how can you offer that great quality service that you say you have if you just like offer like 20 of them? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I feel like even if a person is like, for example, you are in the business, so for example, it's a video production for a while, when you see somebody like, say it's not even a competitor for you, but that also offers video production, and then you're on their website, they have logo design, website development, and they're not serious. You just know it right away. You just know that they're not able to do as better videos as you that is specialized in that specific area.
Yeah, right. And I guess that's the reason why you decided to focus your web building services on tech companies.
Absolutely. But in the beginning, actually, that's a very good point, that in the beginning, especially when you're a freelancer, like, you don't know exactly who you want to work with, right? Like, you haven't worked, let's say, in the beginning with anybody. How can you know you like working with tech companies? How can you know you're better maybe working with tech companies? So I had like a few clients just like in different niches. So that really helped to kind of find out how can I find my path with who I like to work the most. And in my case, it was really tech companies, because it was, and the reason why it was tech companies, I think it was the root of who I am. I was just when I was a young kid, I was such a geek, and that when I was extroverting myself and finding clients, that allowed me to basically start speaking human and not be like a geek talking like, this tech talk that you basically like is just like numbers and features and stuff like this. So when I was extroverting, I was kind of able to see, okay, so I was doing that error before. That's why people were not understanding me. So I was able to make that transition to combine this tech language with human language, so that this combined was able to make the perfect website for the perfect audience to understand.
Yeah, definitely.
So I was able to talk with tech companies and basically saying, okay, well, normal people will not understand this. Your target audience will probably not understand what you say, so we have to reformulate.
Yeah. Simplify the language, simplify the message. Cheryl is saying, true that when we start, we often think we can do everything. And she's saying she's enjoying the conversation. Thank you, Cheryl. Appreciate that.
Thanks.
So recently you spoke about being able to accept criticism. And of course, in your context, you were talking about website design. So, clients say things like, make my logo bigger, or these are not my, that's a classic one. Make my logo bigger, or these are not my colors, or something like that. By the way, it seems that make that logo bigger is not actually becoming a thing. But we'll talk about that later. Well, do you, and you actually said that having the mindset of looking forward to client criticism will make you a great designer. Do you think that being able to accept criticism is an essential part of developing your content as well?
Absolutely. Like criticism, like obviously I specified myself in web design when it was referencing to criticism in that post, but this applies like pretty much to every single field in the world, especially content creation. You have to accept criticism. Some people in the comments will say like, this video sucks. Like you have to kind of try to understand, okay, what does it mean? And obviously, if you don't look forward to criticism, you would see this message. You'll be like, oh my God, they're so negative. I don't want to see them. And I don't want to see those type of messages. Well, this type of mentality will make your content worse, because if you don't see those type of comments, maybe your videos are bad. And you have to look forward to find ways to fix it. So criticism is something you have to look forward, even though in the beginning, it hurts because you put a lot of time into videos. You put a lot of time in your craft. And when somebody comes and says, oh, those colors are so badly chosen, they just don't go together. But like it hurts because you put a lot of effort to it. And maybe to you, it's beautiful for a certain reason. Maybe it reminds you to something, and then it gets personal. But the thing is that you have to make sure you don't make it personal. That person says what he thinks. You have to just listen to him and try to understand why does he say that.
Yeah, most definitely. And talking about content and stuff like that, you have you're on TikTok. Let's take a look at one of the things you've been doing there.
Hard to find web design clients nowadays. Like all the websites are so well optimized. Wow.
Oh, sorry. I was just having fun with it there.
Okay, but I just said like at the end, I think I said like this is so bad or something. I don't know. But anyways, it's like it's so true, and it's just to this day, it's like you can see, especially like in the forums, if you go like to Quora or Reddit, they're like, oh my God, how did you find clients? It's so hard. Like I emailed them, I have like an email campaign and everything, but nobody responds, or they respond with a no. And it's like they say this argument because they cannot find clients, so they have to like blame it on something. So they're like, oh well, they already have websites and it's perfectly optimized. Why? Like I cannot find anybody. So I'm like, oh well, let's just do a TikTok about it. Like, how true is this? And I found this website, and I'm like, I'm gonna do a video about it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So you've been cross-posting your TikTok content on LinkedIn. What benefits have you been deriving from doing that? Have you been seeing any at all?
Saving time.
Ooh.
Saving a ton of time. It's like, actually, a little shout out to Steven. I saw him doing that first. So I saw him he stopped posting those squared videos to LinkedIn, like the basic format, basically. And as soon as I saw him, as soon as he stopped doing that, I'm like, okay, well, he changed his strategy. I should change it too. So I'm like, okay, so let's go to TikTok and let's try to upload all my videos to TikTok and then just reuse it on LinkedIn. And honestly, in terms of performance, I didn't see much of a difference, other than the fact that I get more views on TikTok. It just saves a lot of time.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah,
it does. I mean, I generally batch on a Sunday and use it for the rest of the week, and LinkedIn sometimes get its original content, but most of the time it gets a TikTok video. So that's what that is right now. So you also repurpose your short form content on YouTube Shorts, yeah?
Absolutely.
So it kind of makes me begin to wonder that what is the starting point? Are you making the content for TikTok first and then just using it in every other place that is relevant to your ideal clients? That's the strategy?
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, I make sure this video is perfect for TikTok. After that, I just go for. Wait, Steven said, you guys to go on TikTok. Okay, yeah, I think I know.
All right. All right, we're gonna give you some credit, Steven.
You get the credit.
You gotta give it some credit, Steven. And Steven knows this. He knows both of us are gonna answer yes to that. So yeah. Good job, Steven.
That's good marketing for him.
Good marketing, yes, it is.
Yeah.
I'm gonna clip this and put it somewhere. All right, yeah. So you were answering. You were saying, yeah.
Yeah. So it's basically, I make it for TikTok first, and because the obviously the audience is different on different platforms, and the fact that it's a short, the purpose is still the same. We use a few seconds to capture the attention, and it's the same thing on YouTube Shorts, and it's pretty much the same on LinkedIn. Even though on LinkedIn you can go way longer, but short videos do perform very well on LinkedIn. So it's just a content. I feel shorts are perfect for just repurposing.
Yeah.
Even on Instagram Reels, even that.
Yeah, that I use. Yeah, I use that. I just throw it on Reels sometimes. You know, like once every 3 days.
Oh, yeah, that's pretty often.
You
Still.
know. So you don't use Snaptick to remove the TikTok logo. Is it that you don't know about Snaptick, which I would think would be impossible at this point? Everybody who's on TikTok has heard about Snaptick. Or is it that it doesn't matter? Is it that you want to promote your TikTok by keeping the logo on there? You know?
So actually, I don't know about Snaptick. That's the thing. But I thought about, should I remove that logo somehow? But then I'm like, why should I? Like, people pretty much know anyways. It was probably came from TikTok. Like it's like when I see like a YouTube short, and even though it doesn't say TikTok, I'm like, this is probably comes from TikTok. So for me, it wasn't like, what does it give to the user, the fact that it's on TikTok? So I'm like, there is necessarily nothing. It doesn't affect the user. So I'm like, okay, well, let's forget about it.
Yeah, and for those who don't know, this is the website snaptick.com. If you want to remove the watermark from your TikToks, go to snaptick.com. That's what you realize, that one of the TikToks you have here doesn't have the watermark. I just removed it. Yeah, just use it. And yeah, so you can do that. But I understand what you're saying too. I was thinking that maybe you're just promoting your TikTok, which is interesting. We have Cheryl saying, well, we have Stephen saying it's fire that he got us on. And we have Cheryl saying, I love Insta Reels, but don't dare put. Why won't you post it? You know, why won't you post it? That would be, posting is good. Okay. All right. So on Webflows, well, let's talk a little bit about Webflow now.
Yeah.
Right. So why did you choose Webflow as a development platform?
Okay, that's a very good question. Before, I was on WordPress, and WordPress was how to say, very annoying in terms of management, especially when the website grows. So the more it grows, the more it slows down, which was a big problem, especially when you have like an e-commerce website. So if you use WooCommerce, that was a pain. So it was clear that like I had to find another platform, and especially at that time I partnered up with somebody to kind of work on designs and etc. And that person really wanted to stay on WordPress because it was cheap. It's like, yeah, it's extremely cheap. That was primarily his reason. But I am like, I don't care if Webflow is more expensive. I just want to do it. Even like at that time, I was like selling websites for like what, $500. It was like nothing. So I'm like, I don't care if I lose money on it. I just want it to look beautiful. And then I was just getting those ads of like some builders like Wix, and then I got the ad of Webflow, and then I'm like, okay, I'm gonna look into Webflow. And Webflow just won me over with the fact that you can change anything you want in terms of styling, and that was just for me, was just okay. That's it. I transitioned. So I didn't care how much it costed. I just decided to go with Webflow. And then the more I worked with it, it was just able to do pretty much everything the clients needed as well.
Yeah, I tried to get into Webflow. I think one of my problems, well, first of all, I don't really want to build websites. I had built websites for many years for a company. I don't want to do that anymore. We're at the stage where I need to free my hands from that. And I really wanted to get into Webflow to understand it. Maybe we'll talk about that later on. Because I literally played around with it. Like I built like a mini site and stuff like that. But then, but I really want to get into it because I think it's a superior tool, as you said, in terms of
tool. Like
what you can do with it.
Yeah. Primarily for me, like the biggest win of that, like using that tool was primarily so that I can do whatever I want design wise. And for me, design was like a huge part, because in the initial goal of me going into web design, it was like, one day I'm going to integrate web design with 3D. So my knowledge with 3D animation, etc., I'm going to integrate it together. And Webflow was just this platform that brings me closer to the goal.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm seeing Stephen is saying I like Webflow. For some reason, the comment is not coming up in my feed here, but I can see it on LinkedIn. So acknowledge Stephen. I like Webflow as well. I can't show
I'm
the
glad you
comment
do,
there.
because now your website is on there.
Yes. So I think oh, all right. So let me ask you this question. So what really defines a bad website then?
What do you mean in terms of like what do you mean? Just like what makes a bad website?
Okay, I like the way you responded to that question, because it means that a bad website to you has to be something very specific. So
Yes.
so let me rephrase the question and ask, what are some of the biggest mistakes people make with their websites?
Okay, so one of the biggest things is putting too much information on it. So there is this aspect of like overwhelming the user with information, which a lot of companies do. And a lot of websites, they have just too much text and you don't know where to start, especially if you look for something specific. For example, if you're looking for a service and you come on a website and you just don't necessarily know where is the pricing and etc., this aspect of over information, of trying to write as much text about it just to rank on SEO, this is a big turnoff. You don't know where to look.
Yeah.
So that's one big horrible thing on the websites. Another thing is that the website doesn't have a goal. It's just a website that exists, meaning that when you land on it, where do you go? You don't know, because it was just made to be a website just because the company wanted some legitimacy online. That's it. That's
Right.
one other thing. There's no purpose. There's no plan behind it.
Right.
The other thing is really I would say just the optimization of it. It's just extremely slow. The images, all like, for example, if it's a portfolio of a photographer, and the website is just so slow because guess what? He didn't optimize all of his images, and then the performance is just horrible. So that wasn't looked into it as well.
Right.
For
Right.
example,
Right.
that would be big turnoffs.
Right. Right. And I would suspect that you see those problems quite frequently.
The most frequent, I would say, is the one that doesn't have a plan. They don't have a plan for a website, and so many companies don't have a reason for the website to exist. I even did a post not long ago about it's okay if you don't have a website for certain companies.
Right.
It's fine. It's sometimes having a website, not having a website is not it's not a how to say, it's not something you're losing. It's not something you're losing. Like, you're not losing any business necessarily out of it. Obviously, at one point you should have a website, because like it gives you, first of all, legitimacy, and you can display your testimonials there, case studies, content. And at one point at your side of a company, you need to have one. But in the beginning, if you know you're not going to dedicate some time to it, and you know it's going to be a very bad website, maybe don't do it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Do you ever find it difficult to explain the benefits of what you do without getting just a little bit technical about it to clients and like in your content?
No, I don't have this problem anymore. Before I did, but then I just try to to explain it in what's the benefit of having a website, and just in human forms and in human language, it's pretty easy to explain. And unless it's something like, obviously, if a client is like, okay, so why can't I add this type of blog, but I can add this type of blog that has this type of content, then it gets very technical, and then it's hard, and still have this problem of, for example, choosing like understandable words. But if it's very like, for example, we're talking now, this is something I don't find any issues with.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
Yeah.
mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, so the comment finally came in. So I like Webflow.
Yeah.
That's what he finally came in and he was laughing at something we were saying earlier on. And Charlene is saying that, so true, not having a plan is the reason so many struggle with their sites.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Actually, you know what? You made this video.
Creating a website, you have to decide what you want your website to do. Is the website's mission to sell your services or products? Is it to collect more emails? Or is it just to display blogs and content in general? You have to determine the goal first before even starting to work on the website. Because let me tell you what happens when you don't plan ahead. Your website won't achieve anything because it doesn't aim and doesn't serve any particular purpose. So first, decide what you want your website to achieve.
Yeah, that's a good find.
Yeah, it's your content. So you're pretty consistent.
Yeah.
I saw that on YouTube. Some time ago, some months ago, you had a video where you did a design for Mr. Beast's website.
Yeah.
And I know that was kind of like a thing. Are you going to do more content where you design websites for popular content creators?
For now, I step back from it. But I should get back to it. The reason why is because I have one video where I did an NFT website, but it didn't have any NFT functionality. It's like if I did a website for NFT, as like if they were a company, because at that time I saw like Bitcoin, they have a website, Ethereum, they have a website, but because they were like a corporation. And I'm like, okay, well, NFT, let's say they are a corporation. How would it look like? So I did one. And I think to this day I have 27,000 views on it, which is not bad of the size of the channel I am, which is pretty cool. And I'm still kind of proud of that video. And I would come back to that genre because I think if, again, it's brought well and it's presented well and it's edited well, it can be a very, first of all, fun and entertaining video. Entertaining and educational video, which is like the formula for like succeeding content. And I think that's a video was fun to watch because it was fun to see how it comes together. And there was also some funny difficulties that were in the when I encountered in the process. Plus, it's something you learn. It's like you learn a little bit how to use Webflow, a little bit behind the mentality of how do you assemble this design from nothing.
Right. Yeah, I think, let me just add to that. NFTs are currently trending. Well, they've been trending for a while now, but they're really trending now. So doing a website for that is almost guaranteed that you're going to get picked up with that. Those keywords are going to get picked up.
Yeah.
Of course, I like the idea of the series about building websites for people like celebrities, people who are notable. So you get the whole boost of their name as well as what the design might look like. Or people are interested to see what would this guy do with a website for this person. Even if they have one already, you could just rebuild one. The problem is that it takes time to do that.
Absolutely, yeah.
takes time to create that content. But it's like Steven is saying, that was a good video. So it is. The comment didn't come up here, so I can't show it. I'm seeing it on
and one thing I think is also like, as you said, you mentioned, because you name those, for example, big celebrities, or you name this big trending topic currently. And technically, yes, you should be trending, but it's just that at the end of the day, you have to make sure that your video is good. Because, for example, I mentioned Mr. Beast. I thought this video was going to explode. Mr. Beast was so popular at the time. And the video was horrible. Like I think I was so disappointed, like in the amount of views it got. So like obviously it's not necessarily mean that you're gonna mention someone popular is gonna be popular. So there's like way more to it, and that's still something I'm figuring out with YouTube. So primarily like search terms, that's not what's gonna make your video explode. Search terms are like something additional, but it's not the source. Sorry, like the magical ingredient to explode. It's like a little addition.
Yeah. All these elements come together to give you traction. All right, so that is the kind of the wrap up of our main conversation. Let's go on to the segment I like to call Agree, Disagree. All right, this segment is called Agree, Disagree. I'm going to make a few statements, and you're gonna say whether you agree or disagree with the statements, and this is not a reflection of what I agree or I disagree with. This is just like things for you to agree or disagree with, right? Some of them are going to be specific to you, some of them are going to be general, but let's see. And of course, I have some questions that I ask almost everyone, so let's jump into that. Would agree, disagree. So agree, disagree, Max. Passion before skill.
Yes. Yeah, I agree with that. I feel that passion. Do I need to give an explanation, right?
No, you could explain. It's fine.
Okay. I think passion is the first thing to have. It's like you can improve your skill just because you're passionate about something, and because you love it, you're just gonna spend more time on it, and your skills are gonna get better. I feel it's just that mentality.
Right. Okay, good. Agree, disagree. And some people will not understand this question, but you should. Agree, disagree. Lorem ipsum should be a thing.
I disagree with that. I think lorem ipsum is very important when you don't have text figured out yet. Even though that's not a good thing, you should always have, even if you work with a copywriter or you're a copywriter by yourself, when you create the layout of the page, you should have basically the tags go with the layout, because it's like it's flowing together. It's like one cannot exist without the other. So sometimes when you're just designing, maybe for fun, you, instead of writing that text on your keyboard like blah 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 blah, you would just generate lorem ipsum, and it just generates that text in Latin, and it looks pretty and it occupies the space. So I don't think it's a thing of the past.
Right. I worked for 4 years at a web development company. It was a software company where they develop websites, and I was like the UI designer at that time. And that was, everything was like lorem ipsum. Just go to lorem ipsum and just copy.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Everything is lorem.
But do you think it should go, or do you think it should stay?
I don't know. I mean, I think for internally, it's useful, like for when we, like, you know, and I can't even say, I don't develop websites, so we're like web developers want to develop websites. But in my opinion, it's very hard to then show that to a client and feel good about the lorem ipsum.
So the thing is that you cannot, if you show that clients are like, what is this? So so like it's not something you show the clients, as you said. It's more like an internal thing. It's like more, it's like once something like the text is not complete, you use this for now, but you technically shouldn't show it to a client. That's a good point you have.
I mean, you could show it to a client, and then when they ask what is that, you could just reply, it's a lack of content.
Yeah, not a good thing though. It doesn't make you look good.
No, it doesn't make you look good, so you shouldn't say that. Not recommended. All right, agree, disagree. On social media, you grow more from doing rather than consuming.
Obviously, I agree. Because you can watch as much content as you want and say like, oh, I know everything I need to know because I watch so many content. So I can do a piece of content tomorrow and be successful as PewDiePie, for example, because I watch so much PewDiePie videos. I get all his patterns. But by doing, you'll find out that you don't know it. You don't know all the pieces that you have to put together to make that craft happen. It's like if you read a book about how to play tennis, but if you never play tennis, how are you gonna play tennis? Like it just doesn't work. You need to practice.
I hear you. You need the reps. You need to do stuff. Agreed. All right, agree, disagree. Okay. No call card should be printed with a website starting with www in 2022.
I 100% agree. So still, people to this day, they say, okay, my website is www, and I'm like even Chrome, they stopped like displaying even the HTTPS. They stopped because it's useless. You just say the website and just redirects it to where it needs to redirect. So it's very useless to add a www.
I've been saying this for years, and especially like when you presenting your website, it's so much neater just to have the website and the domain, and the .com or whatever at the end. So much neater.
I don't know if it happens to you, but sometimes I'm like on the phone, like with a receptionist from another business, and I'm like, okay, can you like tell me your website? She's like, okay, www. I'm like, okay, well that's 3 seconds lost already. And they do it slowly. www. Like
We
everybody,
know.
everybody knows.
I know. It's like I know. Just give me the rest of it.
Yeah.
Oh boy. Yes, I used to be. That's so interesting. Charlene is saying, "Can I bring this up? I'm seeing this on the thing. Can I bring this up?" What Stephen had said earlier, that was a good video. Charlene is saying, okay. Charlene is saying, only if you're responsible for creating the copy. Other than that, placeholder copy is best. Okay, we could agree with that. We could rock with that. Charlene has a couple more comments that hasn't come up yet, so we'll see. Oh, she's saying, yeah, facts. That other one that we talked about.
Force of habit.
Yes, you're seeing the comments to force of habit.
Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to agree, disagree. Agree, disagree. The Apple website is overrated.
It's okay. That's my view. It's an incredible website and it's beautiful. And Apple does lead a lot of different fields where they are like the leading player, and a lot of things are inspired by them. From them. So it's true that they have one of the best websites in the game. And however, where it's overrated is when people get into web design and the only inspiration to look at it's Apple website. So there is no such other inspirations in the world than Apple. So that's where it's overrated. That's where it becomes overrated. But if not Apple website, it's pretty much one of the best websites, I would say.
Is Apple's website built on a custom platform?
So that's the thing. I was actually very curious and looking through a platform if they're using one. I didn't see in their code. I didn't see any trace of a specific platform. Even if they are using one, probably they're just hiding it so that nobody knows. But I think in its Apple they would do it custom. I think it's plain code. They do it. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Cool. All right. And the last one, agree, disagree. Goal, structure, content, design.
Now, in what way should I disagree?
I don't know. Do you agree with this? Or
is it like a structure, you mean?
As in, when you're doing something,
Mm-hmm.
Is this the sequence you should follow?
You have a goal, then you have to structure it, then content, and design. When you create a website, first, yes, you have a goal, then the structure, and then I would suppose this is like you talk about the layout, then the content, and design. Yeah, I agree. That's pretty much the structure we have when you create a website. Yeah, and then obviously you would continue with develop, but that's like
yes. So I didn't want to go inside of the develop part because
but 100% agree. Everything I want to emphasize, it starts with the goal. It's so important. If you don't have a goal, how can you even have a structure to begin with? Like, how can you know you're gonna structure it this way if you don't even know what's the end? So yeah, that's important.
Yeah, definitely.
I agree.
These comments are coming in so slow. I can't even like that. This was Cheryl was saying, she was laughing at something earlier. I'm sure it was really hilarious. What's up, habit? Oh, this is probably the www thing she was talking
probably
about.
Probably that, yeah.
Yeah, and Charlene is saying folks need to explore the net more for variations on other awesome examples for great site. Yes, I agree with that.
100%. Right. Even then, and I just would like to add on that comment. Even then, there's also I did some content on that for inspirations, you don't necessarily need to look at other websites if you want to make a better website. Don't necessarily look at other websites. It's a good idea, but if you want to be really creative and be really different, look at different niches, look at different fields. You could look at architecture. You could look at, for example, at photographer books, like how do they put their photos in the books, and there's so many things from where you can get inspirations. And I think that's what's lacking in design, because if you look at all the websites, they look so similar. And I think to differentiate yourself, I think the way to do it is just to look at different inspirations.
Yeah, agreed. The thing about it is that there was a time when websites were just websites, and there came sometime in the mid 2000s that the websites began to mimic print. And I was trained in print, so when I said, oh, it's interesting, print, and the columns and the gutters and all those different things, and now the website are lots of space, and I mean, it's interesting how it's developing,
Yeah.
Good evening to Robert Berry, who is coming in a bit late, but we love to have him no matter what time he arrives. Thank you, Robert, for showing up and saying hello. And Charlene is saying, yep, I'm always looking cross industries for inspiration.
That's great.
Yeah, you should too. All right, that's our conversation. We brought everything in for a landing. That's the end of Agree, Disagree. Do you have anything you want to share with the people before we wrap up here? And my internet is going so crazy right now. But,
yeah, up and downs. But what I would like to share, it's really to I'm putting even more focus on YouTube content. And if you could check out the YouTube channel and maybe even give it a subscribe, would be pretty useful, even pretty cool. Then that's what I'm gonna leave you with.
Right, so that is YouTube channel is The Favorite Design on YouTube. Do you have a custom URL?
Unfortunately, no, it doesn't, and it doesn't let you to have a custom URL until you're at a certain level of growth.
Really?
So, yeah, it didn't let me.
I probably got mine in the early days when they were giving them out for free.
Huh? Yeah. Lucky you. Yeah. So yeah. Well,
all right.
Well, I don't have a specific URL.
Okay, good. So well, they could still go to thefavoritedesign.com to check out your website, and of course you are on LinkedIn and Maksym Donchenko, and on TikTok. On Maksym Don. There are people with your name, man. There are people with your name. There's a professional arm wrestler with your name.
Seriously?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll check that out. Wow.
Yeah, I don't think he's very good. He's
you did some good research to find that guy.
Yeah, I was digging in. I tend to at least Google people to see what comes up. You never know; you might find some interesting things.
Yeah.
Let me just talk to community. Well, of course, they're having conversations down in the comments. Hi again, Robert. Yes, Robert, I'm going to call you out like that. But thank you so much for coming. You're very faithful. I appreciate that. Charlene is having a laugh, and they're having conversation. And Cheryl is saying, yeah, I called you out and stuff. Thank you, community. Very, very active tonight. I appreciate you all being here. Oh, yep. 100 follows now. Oh, that's what it is. You have to have 100 followers in order to get the custom URL.
Okay, so I have we're like almost breaking 300 subscribers on YouTube. So technically I should be able to recheck on it and fix that up, because that's really annoying. Yeah.
Yeah, check it out. Check it out. Maybe we can change it.
Fix that up.
Because it helps. I mean, I wouldn't have had to do this. I did this because I couldn't.
Yeah.
Nobody remember that code at the end.
Yeah, that sucks.
And,
we'll fix that up right away after this call.
Okay, nice. All right, thank you so much, Maksym, for being on the Useful Content Creation Show. I appreciate you being here. Thank you, Useful Content community, for turning out and for engaging in the comments. I appreciate you all very much. And we see you all on the next episode of the Useful Content Creation Show. Bye, everyone.
Perfect. Thanks for having me. Bye.
You're welcome. Bye.